CEO of RVA Iron Gym. Today we'll be training with Sydney Van Horn. We're going to be taking you guys to an off-season leg day. We both did the J Cutler Classic back in August here in Richmond, Virginia. So we've been in off-season probably about 10 to 12 weeks or so now. So this is a very quad-focused leg day. Hit 3 or 4 quad exercises, 2 or 3 hamstrings. So you can see a lot of volume, a lot of heavy weight. So let's do it. Start with seated hamstring curls. I like starting with these to get our knees warmed up. I'm a big fan of starting with hamstrings to really focus them, and then we get into our heavier compound movements like hack squats and stuff like that. I think that the seated hamstring curl is the best exercise to build the hamstrings, so I'd like to start with that, and then we'll go into either a prone or a standing. So generally the way that we structure our programming, we do 2 primer sets, generally 15, 12 reps, depending on the weight, and then 2 primer sets and a top set of 8, max effort all out. Similar to what OT does, progressive overload. So week after week, it's quantifiable. You can track your progress. You're either beating the weight or you're beating the reps. So that's really our focus. And then we'll do a back off set, 15 reps like tempo. So you want the pad as far down as you can go. So you're really locked in. You don't want your hips to come up. And a lot of people, you'll see them press back on the pad so they stay locked in. That's fine. 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, one more. So these, we don't do the primer sets. We generally do 3 to 4 sets of 15 reps.
Do y'all usually push each other equally?
Sometimes. Sometimes I'll be on my phone and I won't be. Sometimes I'll be on my phone and won't be paying attention. Sometimes she doesn't help me until I ask her. Next time we're going into the short neck standing hamstring curl. I like doing the second. It's not extremely taxing, and it gets a really good squeeze. You know, obviously with anything you want to have as much of a stretch as possible and as tight of contraction as possible. So really like this exercise. If you guys haven't tried it, try it out. doing these back to back, we're going too fast. And so we really time ourselves and we slow it down when we start doing our compound movements, hack squat, leg press, 90 seconds to 2 minutes, generally. This is our max effort set, sometimes up to 3 minutes. But it's probably only taking us about 45 seconds each to do these sets. So it's not a ton of rest, so we should probably rest a little bit more. I generally recommend a minute to 90 seconds. We're going to go into banded hack squats, reverse band. I'm going to show you guys how to set this up, why it's important, and why we do it that way. We use the orange bands here. We're going to have it both hooked up here, and we don't want any resistance at the top. We only want resistance 50% and less on the machine to significantly take the amount of weight off and stress off of our knees and the bottom. So when you get upwards of 5-6 plates, all that pressure on your knee joint in the bottom of the hole, you want as much knee flexion as possible with the hack squat. So you want to be touching hamstrings to calves. And with that can come knee pain. So you use the reverse band to mitigate that pressure. That way you're still able to load the quad as much as possible. All you gotta do is this is our main movement, this one, and we're gonna do leg press next. So these two, we're doing 2 primer sets to work up to a max effort set, generally around 8 to 10 reps. We're trying to beat the numbers from last week. So, and then we'll do a back off set about 15. Generally do tempo for the shorter rest period between that.
We're just warming up.
It's like a few warm-up sets. The purpose to use a primer set, it should be about 75, 65% of effort, right? You're trying to find where your max is gonna be at this week. And generally speaking, the weight's always going to feel a little bit different. You may have eaten better the week before, slept better the week before, whatever, you had a bad day, whatever. So you're getting under the weight for those 2 primer sets, and they don't have to increase in weight at all to be the exact same. So if you know your max effort is going to be 3 plates, your primer sets should be about 2 plates. That way you just know you're comfortable going into it. Your max effort set should be an all-out failure set. I'm going to show you guys when she sets up where your foot placement should be, what the goal is, how low you should go. So when she puts her feet on the platform, you want them as low as possible on the platform before your heels come up. So she puts them pretty high, but she goes as far down with knee flexion as possible. Her knees actually come forward, her hamstrings touch her calves. She goes all the way up. Drop the heels all the way up. Come on.
Chair time.
It's like a grandpa. Maybe it's that's got to sit down.
12 here. Oh yeah, push. 3 more, come on. 1. Come on, 2 more. Come on, all the way up. That's 1. Come on, good. Good, okay. Leg day. I always feel like I'm gonna fucking pass out. I'm gonna throw up. Every leg day is like this. We do it once a week. But honestly, I look forward to it because you test yourself every week. You know, you almost get anxiety. Like setting up for the top set. You're like, I don't know what's gonna happen, but we're gonna go for it, you know? So, it's brutal, but the guy who said it, they said, either work out or you train. And I don't know if you train until I see your leg days. So you're working out or you're training. I think we're definitely training. Gotta go up. Since we're doing 3 sets of 20, I always set the back pad on the leg press to the highest setting so we have the most hip flexion. I want maximum hip flexion and maximum knee flexion. That way we get the most out of it. I feel the most stabilized. When I sit into it, I grab the handles and I pull myself down. So the entire time my core is braced, everything's locked in. A lot of guys get hernias from leg training. They're not bracing their core. Inhaling at the top, holding it tight. So when you're training, you come down, on the way up, you exhale, you let it all go. You repeat that over and over and over. This is volume. So the first exercise we do, our main one, hack squat, we do the 2 primer sets, max out of 8, and back off. This one, low volume, 20 reps minimum, 3 to 4 sets, as much weight as you can do. And when I'm doing them, I get as low as I can, and I'm going up right before lockout. It's like a piston, constant movement, constant time under tension. The quads, I mean, it's so much blood, it hurts. And when you train legs, it's a battle every week. I mean, it sounds cliche, but it fucking sucks every fucking week. It's hard, you know, it has to be hard. See guys that come in here and go through the motions, and then they're laughing, they're talking, doing quad extension. You're not gonna see progress that way. This is how you see progress. When you're in here, and you have to fucking sit down like this after every set, you can't move for 5-10 seconds.
Yeah, it's like a love-hate relationship. It's like while you're doing it, you're like, this sucks. And you're done, and you're like, hey, like, you feel accomplished. I feel like I really pushed myself, but like during it, you're like, I'm over it. I'm done. I don't want to do it anymore.
But if you don't, and then you finish, you know, you go home, you just know that you didn't do the best you could have.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, if I'm not limping the next day, like the next 2 days, I know I didn't work hard enough. Because you know, after the hacks and the leg press, like your legs are gonna be sore, really sore. So if the next day you're like, oh yeah, I feel fine, then maybe like go up next week, because definitely want to know that you're progressing.
All right, this is flex quad extension. I love this machine because it's center driven. The angle of the seat really decline and allows you to get a crazy stretch. Look where she's starting. Look at how stretched her quad is and how far back her leg already is. Most leg extensions are straight, go straight down. So you're already starting in a great position. 16. We're doing 3 sets of 16 reps. 1, 2, 3, 3 all the way down. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So when I get in here, I want to be back as far as possible so I get as much stretch as possible. So as far back as my knees are into this pad right here, I'm going to pull myself down into this. I'm going to go straight up and squeeze. Right. When you think about the position, it's similar to if you were stretching your quads like this. You see people stretching their quads this way? That's literally the starting position of this motion. So I like to do them at the end after you do everything else because it gets a crazy stretch in your quads. But it's a lot harder. It's harder to do, yeah. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 5, 4, 3, 2, hip flexion. Remember how you stand up? 5, 6, 7, 8, so this last set, what we do is pull 16, drop the weight about 50%, about 60%, and then we do hip flexion, we drive our hips all the way up, which puts us in a stretch position with our hips, and then we're doing partial reps with our quads, so that the quad stays in a stretch position the entire time. And it's fucking brutal. Oh my god.
The sweat you enjoy.
Alright, so that's gonna be it for our leg day. Started with 2 hamstrings, so seated ham, 3 sets of 15 on there. Really warm up our knees, really focus on squeezing. Seated ham is my favorite hamstring exercise. I think it helps develop the most tissue. Then we went to the standing hamstring curl. Really like those. It's a lot more just the beginning or the bottom of the movement. You're not able to go all the way up, which is fine. Then we did 3 sets of 12 each leg on that. Got into hack squats, reverse bands. Worked up to a top set of 8 reps. Then a back off set of 15. Then we did 3 sets of 20 on the leg press. Then finished off with 3 sets of 16 on the quad extension. So this is a full off-season leg day for us. We do it once a week. We go all out as hard as we can, and then test this every week. But I think it's really helped. You know, one of the things she has to work on is hamstring. Same for me, hamstring, just legs overall. And these exercises, I feel like we hit them the best. And I mean, you get a really crazy pump from it. So we're gonna keep going with this probably for the next 3-4 months. Every day, same thing. Keep doing the progressive overload until we feel like we need to do something else. Maybe target more quads, maybe target more hams, whatever. But that wraps it up for us today for leg day. Can't talk. So. Just stay tuned, guys. We've got a ton more stuff coming up for our Instagram and YouTube. A ton more videos. A lot more athletes out of season that are really moving a lot of weight.
Yeah.
And super excited. Say something.
I don't really know.
Next time, guys.
See you next time, guys. Like and subscribe.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm done.
Nap time.